Hi, I'm Andrei Mincov, the founder of Trademark Factory, and in this video I'll share my thoughts about yet another trademarking screw-up. This time around, it's comments around Apple's getting their own trademark management companies. No! Alright, so let me read it from the article, and you can always find the link in the description below. Some apples now have trademark management companies. Oh, the horror. For decades, Canadians have been buying apple varieties like Macintosh, Granny Smith, Golden Delicious, and Honeycrisp. No one owns the rights to these apples, which means anyone who wants to grow these varieties is free to do so. But the apple industry, like most industries, is changing, and producers are trademarking newer varieties as brands, which means prospective growers have to be licensed to sell them and pay royalties on sales. Oh my God, so horrible. Somebody's inventing something that hadn't existed before and they want to be paid. Oh my God. They're called club or managed varieties, and according to David Parrish, club varieties are becoming the new normal. Usually there are breeding programs that are producing these varieties, said Parrish. I think if anyone goes to their grocery store and looks, it's not just apples from Canada, but also from New Zealand and Chile and the US. Most of those new varieties on the shelf are club varieties. You've come across plenty of managed varieties in the supermarket, including Sweet Tango, Jazz Ambrosia, and Pacific Rose. Cosmic Crisp is a newer club variety which is managed by Proprietary Variety Management. They sold a 10-year exclusive deal to Washington State, which may get extended. It will help the availability and trademark protection, says Catherine Grandy, Director of Marketing for Proprietary Variety Management. We have a patent and trademark on the variety, and we have a management system that allows growers to enter their license number and GPS tracks where they grow it. We're all collectively trying to protect our variety. Of course, there are drawbacks to club varieties of apples. Prospective growers have to be licensed by the brand's owner, and not all growers want to pay royalties. Imagine that. To use somebody else's product, you have to pay, and not everybody wants to do that. Like, as a strong proponent of capitalism, I have zero problems with people who create something being paid for that, or telling those who don't want to pay not to use what they had created. I have zero problems with that. However, what I wanted to do is give a quick commentary from the trademark law perspective so that you could see how this works. Now, a regular trademark is about identifying the source of particular products or services, one source of one company. And that's really the function of a regular trademark, to identify where the product is coming from. Since we're speaking about apples, let me give you an apple example, just a different type of apple. So iPhone trademark is designed to tell the world that the phone is made by Apple, or sold by Apple, or associated with Apple, because Apple owns that trademark. Now, going back to real apples, the trademark that allows you to tell the world how they can use the name of a variety is a different type of a trademark. It's called a certification mark, because the purpose of a certification mark, unlike the purpose of a regular trademark, is not to identify one source, but to confirm that the product or service meets certain criteria set out by the owner of the certification mark. So we see that a lot with coaching programs. For example, somebody came up with some education piece, they have students, and they certify them after they've gone through their training. and they allow them to call themselves a certified in certain program. That's what certification marks are for. Or I'm sure all of you have seen, for example, on our monitors, computer monitors, Energy Star. Same thing, that's a certification mark, and every producer who meets certain requirements is allowed to put Energy Star on their monitors. And those requirements can be as specific or as broad as the owner of the certification mark wants. It could have something to do with metrics that are objective. Like, for example, with Energy Star, you could say, it may not emit more than a certain amount of radiation or whatever the hell it does. Again, something very easily measurable. Or it could be, for example, for coaching programs, you must have gone through the program that the coach offers. You must have passed the exam. You must have bought certain product. And then if you've gone through all that, then you can use the certification mark to call yourself whatever name is covered by that certification mark. Now, with apple varieties, usually what we're talking about is that those apples must be grown out of a seed with particular criteria, and you can even add that those seeds must be purchased through a certain entity, and any apples bought through some other channels, you cannot call your apples with a certain name. So that's really the purpose of certification marks. And going back to apples again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with producers who invest a lot of money trying to come up with new varieties, wanting to control and monetize the use of what they had created. Because as the article rightly states, if you don't want to pay them, that's fine. There's so many varieties that are free for all. If you want to do Granny Smith, you're welcome to do that. You don't have to pay anybody. If that's the only thing you want to sell, great. If you want to sell more popular, managed varieties, yeah, pay, because you did not invest in getting those varieties created, and somebody did. So instead of whining about everything being commercialized, say thank you that somebody did what you could not have. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, make sure you subscribe now to get notified whenever the next video goes live. There's a bell button for that. And if you've got a brand you want to protect, doesn't have to be an apple, you don't have to want a certification mark. If you've got a brand you want to protect, whether it's a company name, a name of a product, a name of a service, a logo, a tagline, go to trademarkfactory.com and book a free call with our strategy advisors, and they'll be able to walk you through the process and make sure that the brand that you value, you don't get ripped off, you get protected, and you can build something of value that you can monetize and build upon. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.